Sometimes, when you have nothing left to give, that's when life decides to give you everything. If anyone understood this, it was Ethan Cross. Ethan was a man the world had forgotten. A crumpled figure with calloused hands, sun-creased skin, and a heart that still stubbornly clung to hope. He lived on the edge of a broken town called Millstone, surviving on whatever odd jobs he could find and the meager kindness of strangers. Most days, he went to sleep with an empty stomach. Most days, but not this one. It was cold when Ethan found a crumpled $5 bill outside the old gas station. His fingers trembled, not from the chill, but from the shock of luck. $5 could buy him a proper meal, maybe even enough to stretch for 2 days if he was careful. He hurried to the town's only diner, the Silver Spoon, where the smell of baked bread and sizzling bacon leaked onto the sidewalks like a siren song. Inside, he bought a simple meal, a warm bowl of beef stew and a thick slice of bread. It was steaming, fragrant, and glorious. As he lifted the spoon, a low, broken voice interrupted him. "Sir, please, could you spare a bite?" Ethan turned. At the door stood a boy, no older than 12, his clothes ripped, his face pale, his eyes huge with hunger. Behind him, a frail woman, presumably his mother, leaned against the frame, coughing violently. They looked worse off than Ethan himself. A battle raged inside him. "This is your first real meal in days. They're strangers. No one ever helps you." He stared at the stew. The rich smell made his stomach tighten painfully. But then he remembered his mother's words from long ago. "In giving, we find who we truly are." Slowly, painfully, Ethan pushed the bowl and bread across the table toward the boy. "Take it," he said hoarsely. "You need it more than I do." The boy hesitated, then grabbed it with trembling hands. His mother whispered tearful thanks. Ethan simply nodded, forcing a weak smile. He left the diner with his stomach empty, but his soul unexpectedly full. That night, Ethan slept under the same abandoned railway bridge he'd called home for months. Hunger gnawed at his insides. Cold wrapped around him like an iron chain. But he didn't regret it. Morning came. Ethan wandered the streets, hoping for day labor work. On a whim, he followed a Help Wanted sign posted outside a tall, sleek building he'd never noticed before. Ashcroft Industries. It seemed absurd. Him, applying for a job in a place like this? But hunger and hope are powerful motivators. Inside, the receptionist blinked at his shabby clothes but handed him a clipboard. "Maintenance department is desperate," she said. "Fill this out." An older man with silver hair and sharp eyes came out from the elevator just then. He froze when he saw Ethan. "You," he said slowly. "I know you." Ethan blinked. "Sir?" The man smiled broadly. "Silver Spoon, yesterday. You gave your meal to that boy and his mother." Ethan's mind spun. How could he have noticed? The man extended his hand. "Name's Richard Ashcroft, owner of this company." Ethan stared, dumbfounded. Richard chuckled. "You showed the kind of character I wish more people had. I like people who act when no one is watching. Come on, let's talk." Richard didn't offer Ethan a job in maintenance. He offered him a training program for management. "You're rough around the edges," Richard admitted. "But heart like yours? That's rare. Skills can be taught. Integrity can't." Over the next year, Ethan worked harder than he ever had in his life. He studied at night, worked during the day, asked endless questions. Every mistake was a lesson. Every success a stone laid in the path he was building. He rose through the ranks with steady determination. People who once sneered at his shabby appearance now sought his advice. He moved out of the bridge into a small, clean apartment, bought new clothes, ate real meals. But Ethan never forgot where he came from, or the boy with the hollow eyes who unknowingly changed his destiny. Years later, Ethan stood on the stage of a grand gala hosted by Ashcroft Industries, clean-shaven, suited, confident. He was no longer the forgotten man under the bridge. He was Ethan Cross, Director of Community Development, personally in charge of initiatives helping the homeless and the hungry. As he accepted an award for his contributions, he looked out at the audience and smiled. Among the faces, he spotted a young man, now a teenager, sitting next to a healthy, beaming woman. The same boy and mother from that night long ago. Tears blurred Ethan's vision. He realized something profound. That night at the diner, when he gave away his last meal, he thought he was saving them. In reality, they had saved him. Moral of the story: even in your emptiest moment, a small act of kindness can open doors you never dreamed existed.